Good morning, Gladiator. Today is day 4 of the prep, leading up to the 21 days to prepare for the Gladiator Summit. I'm excited to be here with you, and I am praying right now that you are intent, watching the videos, listening to the music, going through chapters of Romans 5 through 10. Again, you're doing a chapter a day. If you can go through a chapter a day, you will go through Romans 5 through 10 many times by the time we start Gladiator Summit. This is going to enrich your soul, so let's get going. Today we're going to continue our study that we're going through the priming the pump of the mental frameworks of what a gladiator does different. So this is very important because when you're doing specific secret recon and you're trying to figure out somebody and how they work like a 007, you would pay everything if you could get the key ingredients, the key recipes that make something happen that you want. And this is what it is. Behind the scenes, you're now seeing the depth of what makes a gladiator. The subconscious mind is what we talked about on day 2. Now I'm going to tie some points together in which we talked about. We talked about the subconscious mind. This is the area inside of you where stuff is processed, becomes programs, becomes like a mental framework, like if anger comes in, this is what I do. If fear comes in, this is what I do. If stress comes in, this is what I do. I either medicate, or I have an outlet of peace, or I have sexual action to get an outlet. Like, you do what you do because the inner part of you has already stated, this is what we do. That piece of you is that underbelly is the soul, which is also called the subconscious. The depth of you, the seat of your emotions, your will, your decisions, and your personality. This is what the enemy desires to kill, steal, and destroy. He doesn't desire to kill, steal, and destroy your body. He knows it's but dust. He doesn't desire to kill, steal, and destroy your spirit. Your spirit doesn't have any direct emotion. It's your soul that has the emotion. It's your spirit. It's from the Father. It's going to go back to the Father. He's not after your spirit. He's after the Spirit of God living in you. He wants to crush that. He wants to delineate that. He wants to dry that up so that he can attack your soul. So, I'm going to hit a few verses real quick, just on the thought about reprogramming the mind, the thought about the mind. Colossians 3:2, set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. Okay, this ties into Ephesians 2, verse 6, with us sitting in heavenly places. So our mind is to be up here. We'll talk about this more at Gladiator Summit, but then the mind is the programs that run the soul. The mind is the programs that run the soul. This is called a brain, not your mind. This is your brain, not your mind. This is like the actual screen, the monitor of the computer. This does not deal directly with the programs. It does whatever the programs tell it to do. Big difference. Okay, the mind is the programs of the soul. So when the Lord is telling us, set your mind on things above, set your emotions, your thoughts, your personality, and your will on things above. He's wanting us to sit in heavenly places during the middle of all the chaos. He's wanting us to be with Him. It says you're seated in heavenly places in Christ in Ephesians 2:6. What's seated in heavenly places? The soul, my friends. We want the soul to be sitting in heaven. Like, I know it's not my body. My body's here. No, it's not the spirit. My spirit has to communicate with His spirit. His spirit's up there. My spirit's down here. And His spirit's living in me here, but I'm still communicating here. It's the soul. The soul, He's telling us to not have it on earthly things, to have it up there. That takes crazy faith to let everything happen, what you see happening, and not feel it. But that's what He wants. He wants you to feel His presence in a future present mindset. He says, Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to this world in your emotions, your thoughts, your will, your personality. Do not be conformed, but letting your mind be down here, letting your soul be down here. but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, the renewal of the programs in the soul, the renewal of what runs your emotions, the renewal of what runs your thoughts. That by testing you may discern what is the will of God and what is good and acceptable and perfect. All right, hit a couple more verses for you real quick. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God and take every thought captive and obedient in Christ. How would you do that? And here, what I really want to do is I just want to challenge you with this thought as we end this video. How's that working out for you? No, but really, how's it working out for you? Are you really taking things captive? Are you owning the domain in which you actually run in your nervous system? Do you have a reputation with the enemy? Like where the enemy goes down? Or is it this battle back and forth? You're just trying hard and the enemy fights. You're trying hard and the enemy fights. Today is what we're talking about, is reprogramming this stuff. And if you have it only intellectually, you're going to be doing this fight, this kind of fight, where you're doing good, then you're doing bad. You're doing good, then you're doing bad. And the enemy's Pinocchioing us. He's just Pinocchioing with strings. And it's time for us to cut the strings, fellas. It's time for us to take complete control of our thoughts, our emotions, our will, and our decisions. So what I want you to do today, I just want you to spend a couple minutes doing the exercise. And I want you just to sit down before the Lord, turn everything off, and just ask this question. Is the life I'm currently living in a position where everything that's coming down into my soul is good, effective, beautiful, clean, or the things that need to be purged at Gladiator Summit? And just make a list. What needs to be purged at Gladiator Summit? I just want you to help yourself, prepare yourself for things. Man, I want to change X, Y, Z. I see it's a mental framework. I get it. Yeah, it's a program, all right. Earlier in the day, I didn't want to do X, Y, Z, and then when I got in this certain situation, I kind of started being tempted, and then I got stuck in it, and then I fell into it. I don't want that to happen anymore. To write that down. So take a few minutes right now, turn the video off, take a few minutes, and just sit before the Lord. What needs to be purged in me? Is everything going in my subconscious? Is everything going in good? Like, what's running my mental frameworks? Do I got some bad mental frameworks where I pop on people, or I get bad addictions, or I get, I'm obsessive here? What needs to change? Write it down and be ready, because we're going to take you on a ride that you're going to love at Gladiator Summit. Be blessed. See you tomorrow.